Hey fellas, me Trapper here. I am packing up to go on my last out-of-state trapping trip for the year. I get a lot of questions on what I take and what the logistics are like on these trips, so I thought I would just take a few minutes and go over my gear. Now in no particular order, we'll start over here. First thing is you got to have quality tools. First thing I've got is a pair of snips, and these are Felco snips, very good ones. You got to have a pair of cable cutters if you're snaring. Once again, get quality tools. A pair of side cutting pliers, and these are made in USA pliers right here, Channel Lock brand, that's all I use. Then I have a pair of heavy duty scissors. Now I use these for cutting the rib cages and cutting through tendons and bones on the beavers. So I have tools. Now, since I never ever lose or leave pliers, I always carry 2 spares. Keep those in the truck where I probably won't lose them. Now, I carry two types of packs. This, you've seen in my videos, is a chest pouch. I wear this on my chest because when you're in the water and you're wearing waders, you don't want anything on your belt or anything like that. So this stays with me, and I'll keep my lure and I'll keep my tools and that sort of thing in my chest pouch. Next, I have a bigger Maxpedition type pouch. This I keep in the kayak, and this will hold several dozen snares. It'll hold a coil of trapping wire and extra tools, flag and tape, what have you. So this stays in the kayak, whereas the chest pouch stays on my chest. Now speaking of kayaks, I'm a huge believer in life jackets. This is a Stolquist jacket right here. This is a very, very good kayak life jacket. You will not catch me on the water without a life jacket. Hopefully I won't catch you on the water without one either. Then of course you have your paddle. Now the kayak's outside. Everybody knows what that looks like. Now, a couple of other things. I have drivers. For some of my Berkshire stakes, I just use a regular T-bar. That does fine in the mud. I also use wolf fangs when I'm setting hog snares or coyote snares. So I have a driver from southernsnares.com, and then I have the manually operated impact persuading device, also known as a hammer, to hammer the driver in. Now, let's open this up. And you can see I've got a 5-gallon bucket loaded with snares. I've got 2 different color of flagging tape, and I've got a coil of wire in there. The flagging tape, I like that extra wide orange one. It's very easy to see from a distance, but I carry 2 different colors. It's a great way to make a difference between 2 different snare sets, or in my case, when I'm using different lures. If I'm using lure number 1, I'll use pink. If I'm using lure number 2, I'll use orange. That way I don't have to write it down, and I can make an easy reference when I make a catch or don't make a catch. Now, as far as lures go, I carry a variety of lures. This time of the year, I'm using a lot of heavy caster lure. So let's see, what have I got here? This is, this is a great lure. It's one of my favorites. Actually, it is. It's a great lure. It's Elk River Victor, and so I carry 6 ounces of that. Let's see. Got also have, in addition to a caster lure, I have call lures, food-based lures, and curiosity lures, plus glow-in-the-dark lure. This is the visual attractor type of lure. Now next, when it comes to skinning and cleaning, I have my foot remover. Of course, I have my meat trapper knife, and I hope you have one as well. I love that knife. For maintenance of the knife, I carry a little piece of tough cloth. And for touch-ups, which is all I'll need, I use a home steel. I also have a strop that I don't have pictured here. That's about it for the knives. Now, when it comes to dispatch pistols, my primary beaver dispatch pistol is a Ruger Mark II 22 long rifle pistol, and I put a green paint job on there a while back. So far that's holding up great. For hogs, when we have to deal with the hogs, I use my Ruger 44 Magnum Super Black Hawk. I love that pistol. I've killed over 100 hogs with that gun. And this is what I like to shoot. 310 grain hard cast alloy bullet. Hand loads. Let's see, back up to the buckets. Bucket of wire. I carry 9 gauge, 11 gauge, 14 gauge wire in there. I do not use 16 gauge wire. I carry my own food saver with extra bags. That way, as I pull the liver and the kidneys out of the beaver, the back straps, I have my own food saver with the bags, and I'm ready to go ahead and process them right there, throw them in the freezer at the lodge, and be done with it. Now let's see what this is. These are small game snares. So if I run across mink sign or rat sign or something like that, what I have is a very small snare. And then these are a combination of stake, attachment, and support right there. So I push this into the mud, clip the snare on, and I'm ready to go. So I carry some of these just in case there's some incidental rat, mink, or anything like that. Now over here, let's get this. These are my Hog Snares. These are the heavy-duty ones made by southernsnares.com. You can see I'm using 1/8 inch cable. This is a heavy-duty cam lock. We're using steel annealed nuts, not aluminum stops. We're using a number 12 barrel swivel, if that will focus. Camera has a mind of its own right there, number 12. And pay attention to these swages. This is something that Brian does. He's got a very heavy-duty machine, and that crimp right there is stronger than the cable. The cable will break before that crimp lets loose. So those are some of my heavy-duty hog snares. Now, we always have rain, so I carry an Alpenflage. This is a Swiss Alpenflage poncho. Very heavy-duty poncho, and it works great. Better than the USGI, in my opinion, for rain protection. For going through the briars, I carry some Dan's briar-proof chaps. So it's a pair of chaps. I like chaps because they're easy to put on and take off without having to take your pants off, your boots off, or your waders off. My trusty rubber gloves. I wear under these, when it's cold, I wear a pair of wool liners, thin merino wool liners. And then of course I have waders. You gotta have waders. And so that is just a quick overview of some of my gear. And about the only other piece of gear that I don't have already out here, is because it's still on the charger, is my coon hunting light. I use a micro light from Big Dog Lights. Very, very pleased with that light. So anyway, that's a basic overlook of my gear. Of course, I will also have a suitcase with my clothes, personal items, and then I'll carry a cooler to carry some items over and hopefully fill it up with meat and bring it back. If you have any questions, leave them below. And hopefully I'll have a nice video up in a week or two showing you the results.